Hello guys, this is going to be a very quick impromptu video, simply because I've noticed that from the last week I didn't post anything. I just wanted to keep up and keep the habit up. So in this particular video I really want to speak about inspiration we see motivation. Why? First why is because most of the people are asking me where do I get inspiration sources from, how do I keep being motivated, and how do I keep being productive. And I do think that people sometimes confuse those two terms, inspiration and motivation. So this is actually very confusing because inspiration is related to motivation. Inspiration is already a product of motivation. As for me, when we talk about motivation, it means we are talking about strategy. And when we're talking about inspiration, we're talking about tactical execution. So first of all, motivation for me is very long term. It answers the question why. And it brings us to the question what and how is very inspirational or tactical based. So this motivation is the same as strategy because I really set up my goals. I really understand what are my life priorities. I imagine what do I want in 2-3 years in my life from now, and I understand what I need to achieve during this time. And this usually pumps me up and never let me down, never let me give up on things I'm doing, because I definitely know what are my goals in 2-3 years. If you're struggling with setting up your goals, that means that you are probably moving wrong. If you don't know what you want in your life in 2-3 years, that is a problem, and you probably need to think who you are, what are your best qualities, and what excites you, right? What makes you want to live. But that is very motivation related stuff. And this motivation brings me to the inspirational point. So when I already know what I want and I set up kind of roadmap of what should be done, I start to think, how can I do it? How can I achieve those things? And how you also should start from global understanding other than very detailed understanding. When I was going to the drawing school and my teacher was teaching me how to draw portraits, it's a very cool example because the first lesson you're taking there, he explains that if you cannot start drawing portrait, a face from your eye, right? Many children are starting to draw face from the parts they like from nose, from eyes. They don't start from drawing the measurement or looking for measurements and then constructing the parts of your face right away. So it's very similar. You don't start from pieces. You don't have to start from designing a little form for your new UX pattern. Instead of looking and go directly to Dribbble and look for nice, beautiful UIs that are not relevant to your context, I would suggest you to start from general inspiration. Just think of the people who are probably have similar cases. Then it could also be some case studies that were trying to solve kind of similar problems, and you would go into their cases, you learn how they were doing with the situation, maybe you read some case studies in the Medium blog, and then eventually when you already understand how to look at the situation, when you already kind of brainstormed and lay down the solution, you can go and start searching for visual inspirations like UI patterns, the Dribbble, or whatever else you're looking at. If you want to know what are those visual inspirations for me, yes, I also use Dribbble a lot. I sometimes go to Behance, but it's harder to find things that you need there, so spend more time there. And I sometimes also find inspiration from Instagram. So I really bookmark a lot in Instagram. I use lists, or how to call it, buckets in Dribbble due to patterns. For example, bucket of forms, bucket of traveling marketplaces, bucket of sign-up forms and stuff like this. I really talk to some designers sometimes. This is helpful. In terms of going outside of the digital space, inspiration for me, only people. And very rarely I can also get inspired from nature, or maybe things that I'm seeing around. For example, if I'm traveling, I might like some colors around me. For example, Prague is beautiful. Color palettes from Prague are so inspiring to me. It's interesting to see the seasonal patterns. For example, in winter, your colors will be very contrasty, like very dark or very white or very blue or very red, very juicy. In autumn, it will be very many hints, but in like yellow or red. And in summer, it will be very green and fresh. And like seasonal patterns of colors are very cool. But like, honestly, this is like details. You definitely should understand that there are so many resources, they're all cool. But the point of this video is to try to make you understand that inspiration doesn't hit us to the head, and it's like not some kind of a muse that comes in the middle of night
and brings you up out of bed and makes you go and work.
Inspiration, as for me, is something that you have to look for, and you need to understand why you're looking for it. And if you know why you're looking for it and what you're looking for, you probably already would come up with some resources that help you find those specific inspirations. And it goes just like from big to small all the time. Don't start from small. This is biggest outcome from this particular video. That could bring you to the lose of point. That could make you think, what am I doing it actually? What is the point of it? You know what I mean. Let me know what you're thinking about it. How do you approach your work? How do you get inspiration? What are maybe the other resources that I didn't think about before shooting this video? Maybe there are some really cool, interesting things, not exactly bad resources, but actual approaches in your inspiration. So yeah, if you have any ideas, please leave it down below. I would love to interact with you in the comments. And let me know also what are the next topics you would like to be answered.